The world is changing and the evidence is undeniable. From the scorching heat waves in the Arctic to the devastating wildfires sweeping through forests that once stood untouched for centuries, the impact of climate change is felt worldwide. This is no longer a distant issue, it's happening now and it's affecting all of us. For years, scientists have warned us about the dangers of global warming. Yet even as the signs grow clearer, the question remains, why are we still struggling to act in time? Can we reverse the damage we've done? And what will it take to safeguard the future of our planet? To understand this crisis better, we asked an AI database about what they thought about this issue. Let's start with the basics. How do you define climate change and why is it such a pressing issue right now?
Climate change is basically the long-term shift in weather and temperature patterns around the world, and a lot of it is caused by us burning fossil fuels, cutting down forests, stuff like that. These actions release greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which trap heat and make the planet warmer. That extra heat throws everything off, leading to stronger storms, rising sea levels, melting ice, and major changes in ecosystems. It's a big deal right now because we're already seeing the effects: more wildfires, floods, droughts, and they're getting worse. Scientists are saying we're getting close to some tipping points where the damage could be permanent. But the good news is we still have time to act if we move fast, cutting emissions, switching to clean energy, and making smarter choices across the board.
As stated previously, climate change is the long-term alteration of temperature and typical weather patterns. While Earth's climate has always shifted over time, human activity, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, has accelerated this process, leading to unprecedented changes. The result? Rising global temperatures, shifting weather patterns, more frequent and intense natural disasters, and the destruction of ecosystems that sustain life. But what does this mean for our planet and how are we feeling the effects already? What are some of the most alarming consequences of climate change that you've observed in recent years?
One of the scariest things I've seen in recent years is just how fast everything is happening. Like, ice in places like Greenland and Antarctica is melting way quicker than scientists expected, and that's pushing sea levels up, which puts coastal cities at real risk. Then there's the wild weather, record-breaking heat waves, massive wildfires in places that didn't used to see them, and floods that wipe out entire communities. What really hits hard, though, is how it's affecting people, especially in vulnerable areas. Crops are failing because of droughts, clean water's getting harder to find, and diseases are spreading more easily in warmer climates. And it's not just far-off places either. These changes are happening everywhere, and it's becoming clear that if we don't take it seriously, the consequences will only get worse.
It's clear that the future of countless species, including our own, is at risk. From disappearing forests to ocean acidification, the repercussions are vast and interwoven. But there is still hope. Around the world, communities are mobilizing, scientists are innovating, and governments are starting to take action. The question is, can we reverse the damage we've done, or is it too late? While much work remains, solutions do exist. From shifting to renewable energy to preserving forests and adopting sustainable agricultural practices, the path to a healthier planet is possible, if we act now. Looking ahead, what are some of the most promising solutions to combat climate change that we should be focusing on in the next decade?
Looking ahead, there's actually a lot to be hopeful about if we act quickly. One of the biggest things is switching to clean energy. Solar, wind, and other renewables are getting cheaper and more efficient, and they don't pump greenhouse gases into the atmosphere like fossil fuels do. Electrifying things like cars, public transport, and even home heating is a huge step too, especially if that electricity comes from green sources. We also need to focus on protecting and restoring nature, like planting trees, preserving forests, and fixing up wetlands, because those natural systems pull carbon out of the air. And then there's innovation, stuff like carbon capture tech, better batteries, and more sustainable ways to farm and build. But honestly, none of this works without strong policies and global cooperation, so governments stepping up and setting real climate goals is just as important. It's all about scaling up fast and making smarter choices across the board.
The good news is that many of these solutions are already being implemented across the globe. The challenge now lies in scaling them up and ensuring that every nation, business, and individual plays their part. Climate change is not a problem for tomorrow. It's the crisis of today, and it's up to all of us to rise to the challenge. The choices we make now will determine the future of generations to come. The question is, what kind of world will we leave behind?